You're locked and loaded.
We're back.
We're back.
I haven't seen you in what, like 2 months?
Yeah. Well, it's been so much.
We've been
heads down doing work.
Yeah, it's what freaking Overlander, man. That's been the only thing we've cared about for the last 2 months.
We worked on a huge project. It's called Overlander. It's a Shopify store, overlander.com. I designed it myself. Paul did all of the theme development with only like 1% little bit of help on a few items from various app support.
Yeah, don't
Carl.
Don't negate Carl. Carl's an integral. He's a cog in the machine, man. We need Carl.
Carl Meisterheim is a JavaScript wizard. And anytime anything is painful with JavaScript, we're like, put Carl on it.
Yep.
The man gets his own song. You're good with JavaScript when they sing songs about your people.
Yeah, we're just like, I could struggle with this, or I could put Carl on it.
Put Carl on it. Gonna need that as a sound drop soon. Anyway, Overlander.com is this big, cool partnership where Auto Anything, established team, is providing inventory and fulfillment. They're the owners. And Andrew Udarian from E-commerce Fuel was project lead. Very a famous gentleman within the e-commerce circle. It's true. He is.
Gentleman.
Yes. He's a popular guy. And we did all the theme development and the store setup and all that stuff. And the who else? Oh, and of course, it has a ton of amazing content. They have a content partner, Expedition Overland. So the site, we're always saying, hey, you need video, do video. Oh my gosh, do video. They went above and beyond. And so, like, all the major key collections have videos that talk you through, like, here's the best gear. Many of the products have it. They've got this really cool hero video. It's very cool. It's very video heavy. I like that site a lot. How'd you build that thing? What's that on?
WordPress and Drupal.
Oh my God! WordPress.
Ew.
Cold Fusion.
What?
Ew.
I'm gonna break the ew button.
I just got feelings about those videos because I'm the only man in the world that understands aspect ratios.
Aren't they in 16:10?
They're not. No.
What ratio are those in?
They shot them in 2:3:5, which is what they shot them in anamorphic, which is like if you're shooting a movie today, like a pro movie, and you're like, this movie is going to be wider than normal. That is what they shot them in.
So you're like, okay, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, well,
this has got to go on my iPad.
Here's the thing. Christopher Nolan likes shooting IMAX. IMAX is also much more squarish than what they shot. That's not even what Christopher Nolan does.
So if you were to advise people, hey, stop messing around with aspect ratios, because anytime we talk about aspect ratios and cropping images, like, it just goes nuts.
No one understands it.
And video, same problem. What would be the recommended aspect ratio?
Well, it depends on the slot it's going in.
Oh, okay.
Because phones are skyscraper. So it's sort of like, if it's a mobile video, you kind of almost want it to be skyscraper.
For mobile, if it were like on a web page, I like square.
Yeah, square also a good idea.
Yeah.
No reason you couldn't just still be shooting 4:3 square, also known as Academy ratio. We can go into this if you want to.
Oh boy, I'm not ready.
But everything defaults to 16:9. 99 times out of 100, we get stuff comes to us as 16:9. Other than these dudes who decided they were shooting Ben-Hur about their car parts.
It's probably I wonder if they're shooting on like a red.
Yeah, well, you said that they have an Amazon show? Amazon Prime show?
Oh no, they're the real deal.
So, so I'm guessing they just use the same team they're using to shoot the Amazon show, and I don't know, maybe the Amazon show is shot super widescreen as well.
It could be,
even though
it's supposed to be like big, beautiful.
But I'm telling you, it's even wider than the normal movie ratio. It's not at Ben-Hur or How the West Was Won level, but it's pretty freaking wide.
But yeah, check out Overlander, and especially if you have a Jeep, Tacoma, Tundra, 4Runner. I think those are the initial vehicles that we were supporting at launch. But it's a really cool example of a dropshipping website with private label stuff and phenomenal content.
Yeah.
Very proud of it.
No,
Came
we
out
are.
really, it's very strong.
Yeah, if you look at it and you see any problems, feel free to not contact us because I don't want to look at that site for at least a month because it's all I've looked at.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you get to that stage where it's like, I can't. You close your eyes and you see it. You're like, no more.
Yeah, I
Make
mean,
it stop.
for the last 4 days, we're recording this on Cyber Monday, the day you're allowed to buy things online. Usually you're not allowed to buy things online, but today's the one day. Well, I haven't done any work for 4 days, and it's honestly insane to me.
We went to Michigan and stayed in a cabin for Thanksgiving, and the cabin had no internet, and I was relieved. I was pretty thrilled. My phone worked, but the cabin itself did not have internet.
Yeah, maybe I might have to question your timing there, Lou, because it was like kind of the biggest 4 days of the year for our entire business. And you were just like, FYI, guys, go to where no one can talk to me. Bye. And you just left. And everyone freaked out.
They freak out every year. Last year I went to Disney World for a week.
That's right. They do freak out.
So
no matter what you do, they'd freak out.
Yeah. So in my head, I was like, well, last year we went to Thanksgiving for a week. This year I'm only leaving for 3 days. I'm like, this will be fine. And no, it just happened to coincide with this big brand launch. All right. Did you buy anything over Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Take advantage of any deals?
No.
Yeah, I weirdly also...
I bought nothing.
We did, like, all our Christmas shopping, we did it in October. I like to cite that stat. It's like 20% of people, I forgot what it was, but it's like 20% of people start in October and many finish before Thanksgiving, which was why I'm always like, maybe run a sale earlier. And it's all done. We did it.
I've completed I think I've completed my Christmas shopping for my wife. I think all of Emily's gifts have been purchased. They are currently shipping to the house as we speak. Maybe she'll get one more thing. I don't know.
Lego had a rare sales. A lot of items were 20% off. You know that Steamboat Willie Lego set that's like way overpriced?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's like not even that many pieces.
It's the number of pieces.
I'm sure Disney really hammered them on the licensing.
Yeah, I'm sure they're brutal. No, Lego had a bunch of stuff 20% off, so that was a Black Friday purchase. And I bought an Oculus Quest 2 at full retail.
Also, the Steamboat Willie set is like, this block is white. This block is gray. This block is a different gray.
It's pretty monochrome, yeah. Well, it's from a black and white cartoon.
No, all I did, I honestly, well, I take that back. I did buy, I bought 2 games on the Steam Summer Sale. So that's it. I bought 2 computer games.
I bought a few Quest games.
And I bought 1 computer game 2 weeks ago for early access, full price, which I never do. But I saw a YouTube video of it, and I was like, I need to have this game.
What's the game?
It's called Teardown.
Oh, you were into that.
It's honestly, I can't remember the last time I loved a game this much.
Huh. That's quite the endorsement.
Yeah, it's incredibly, incredibly fun. And like, I'm so into it, and I already beat it. And so I'm like, I want more content about this game I enjoy. I want to read about it, or like news, or like people talking about it. So then I made the mistake of like reading forums about it, and it's just the worst shit you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah, you never want to read the comments.
And the game's like a heist game where it's like you do all this stuff where you set up your heist and then you have 60 seconds in order to complete it. That's literally the game. Literally the game is a 60-second race with an infinite amount of setup time before that you can choose to use however you want. But yeah, all the forum stuff is like, is this game like a timer game? Like, I would like it, but like, I don't like the part where it's like, there's like a time limit. It's like, that's the game. The game is the time limit. If there was not a time limit, what is the point?
Internet comments, reviews, forums, often you shouldn't use it to inform an opinion because it's such like just a vocal minority.
Yeah.
Often.
I just sit there reading.
And had you just read that, would you have bought that game?
Well, no. Those idiots have no thing because there's a game developer I like a lot. He made some YouTube videos playing it because he was in the beta and he's like, this game is awesome. And it was just videos of him playing it. And I was like, yeah, this sold me. But yeah, no, I just sit there. I'm like, please, I hope the makers of this don't listen to the forum people in any way whatsoever. Because they were like, the timer's too hard. It's like, no, actually the timer is perfect because if you do it correctly, and like figure it out, you finish by the barest skin of your teeth every time, and it's like frantic and fun.
Should I get this game?
I cannot be certain it'll run on Silas's machine because it's all voxel ray traced. And so even though it looks like Minecraft, it actually runs fairly shittily.
Oh boy. All right, well, I will skip that then.
I would buy it. Buy it and see if it runs, and if it doesn't, you can return it.
Okay, I will do that.
It's so much fun.
So, this is the Unofficial Shopify podcast. I'm your host, Kurt Elster. I am joined today by my co-host, Paul Rita, who is the uncredited co-inventor of Festivus, according to me. And
Did you write that? You're real proud of yourself for writing that?
I try and write something every time, and that one's not my strongest.
No, it's not.
Do you have a better one?
No.
No?
I just don't do things I'm not going to be good at.
Oh my God! I need to lie down. That was painful. So today, we are going to discuss a Black Friday data download. We have Black Friday data from Adobe Analytics, some retail news source from Shopify, and from 10 merchants. So we're going to go through, we're going to unpack the data. We'll see where that takes us. And then, depending on how long we go on that, we may or may not do a tear down, no promises. Well, in housekeeping notes, our holiday email guide this year, the 2020 holiday email guide, outsold the previous 3 years combined. I'm pretty proud of that. And it was doing early bird pricing. That was like the magic. So if you're considering an email promo for yourself, or a product launch, really, try doing that early bird pricing because it creates legitimate urgency because no one wants to wait and pay more. So I like that strategy a lot. And clearly it worked for us.
Yeah, people got scared. They wanted to lock in the low prices. And I think that's like a great way of doing it, was locking in low prices.
Yeah, it's such a great motivator. It works. And it's better than like somewhat, the early adopter pays full price and then you discount it. It's better like, all right, you showed up early, you get rewarded for it in the form of a discount.
Yeah, yeah, that is a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm completely converted to early bird pricing. It makes so much more sense.
Well, the other way is that the early adopters were going to buy it anyway, and like they needed it. It's like everyone buying a PS5 now. So it's like, you could charge whatever you want because those dodos were going to buy it no matter what.
I see. Well, scalpers. Scalpers are a big problem there.
There's a problem with that, yeah. Also, you called out, I saw on Twitter, Andy Bedell, Key Smart Genius Andy Bedell, for not extending his sale and then sending out an email that was just like, the sale ends at midnight. We're not kidding. It will end at midnight. We're not going to do some BS about how the sale's been extended. If you wait until after midnight, there will be no more sale.
It was a really good email.
Yeah, it was a great email.
It was plain text, and it said, the sale doesn't extend. And because everybody assumes like, oh, well, I can wait because they'll just keep running that sale, or I can ask customer service for the coupon code or whatever. And so you get, because so many people have used false urgency and false scarcity, that there's the assumption that it will be true of all sales. And yeah, he had this wonderful plain text email that was like, we're for real, ending the sale at this time. And then it was like, here's just a list. An unordered list, like, okay, this is 25% off, this bundle's 20 off, whatever it was. That worked really well.
Yeah, no, it was great.
No, I don't even want to bring up the specter of another lockdown.
Oh, there's not going to be another lockdown. No way.
You don't think so?
No, because there's no one in the government has the balls to do it.
Just because if there were another lockdown and it were in some way enforced, I would assume that would be a boom for e-commerce.
There would. I assume so, again, like we saw in the spring, but I just don't think there's no political will to do it anymore. And it's not like the Senate's going to be sending anyone money either. So, whatever it's been like the last 2 months, we're just going to muddle that way through for the rest of the time.
Ugh.
I mean, that's what I think.
Ugh. I don't know what to think.
I think it's really going to blow up after the vaccine starts getting handed out.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, call me being optimistic. Like, I hope I'm not being too optimistic, but I think like everyone's going to be really happy. I think everyone's going to be going out. I think restaurants are going to blow up. I think it'll be just a renewed era of good feelings. And I think during that time period, I still think online sales will be up because everyone will be getting their jobs back. The economy is going to be getting going again, and people are going to be buying stuff again.
My personal anecdotal experience says that's totally plausible. Because we went to this cabin for 72 hours, only to come back and have, all 5 people in my household absolutely thrilled and like still riding the high of we left our house.
Yeah.
Because I've been in my house since March.
You're on the leading edge of not leaving your house.
I am terrified of outsiders. Stay away from me. Anyone who gets within 10 feet gets pepper spray.
I know.
That's my social distancing policy.
Yeah, every time I come to the door, I'm waiting to get screamed at.
We get the temperature gun out, start scanning. All right, so we got some data. So we're going to drill down on data here. I'm going with like the national trends with retail data, then Shopify's data, and then our own. Does that make sense?
No, whatever.
All right, Paul, I know you're excited, but calm down. Gonna dive into this data.
Okay, read your press release.
All right, well, no, this is from, a lot of this is from Adobe Analytics. But, all right, so in-store visits drop 52% year over year, which that's what we expected. That's not a bad thing. That's calibrated strategy. That's the hurt that's supposed to happen. And instead, we have people spending 22% more nationwide on Black Friday. So it was $9 billion in retail sales this year. Last year was $7.4 billion, making Friday assuredly the biggest shopping day of 2020. So nothing unexpected there. And Thanksgiving itself, though, traffic to stores down 95%. So let's assume, well, what happens next year, I think is the question. Are they going to start this crap again where the Black Friday sales start on Thanksgiving and stores are open on Thanksgiving?
I mean, the backlash to that was already forming for the last 2 years. People didn't like it. So I get the feeling
I don't think that one will come back.
I don't think it'll come back to where it was like 2017 levels, but I think it'll come back from down 95%.
Okay. So it'll be a mixed bag.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on Monday, but Adobe expects Monday to be the largest Cyber Monday, largest online sales day in U.S. history, with an estimated spending of 10.8 to 12.7 billion. Whew! That is a spicy meatball. And they said naturally big retailers like Walmart and Target benefited, but small did as well. Sales at big stores surged 400% on Thanksgiving and Black Friday compared to the daily average in October. Sales at smaller retailers also grew 350%. I don't know that we had like our stores specifically doing 350% more over the previous year. And then that could clue. Well, that's
compared to the daily average in October.
Oh, okay. Our stats were year over year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably correct.
Yeah,
that feels right.
I could see that.
Yeah. All right, that gets us through our Adobe Analytics data, which is what, like, any of the news sources you hear, any of the news articles, I went through a whole bunch of them. They pretty much all cited the same Adobe press release. So that's where those figures are coming from. All right, so Shopify itself does this cool thing. They do a live map, and they show you, like, here are the number, like, this is current revenue across all of Shopify by the minute. And I'll put the link up for that. I don't know if it'll still be live, but it's datastories.shopify.com. Anyway, according to that data, Shopify's own data, and then their subsequent press release, $2.4 billion in Black Friday sales globally, 75% up over the previous year. So that's network-wide on Shopify is the standard growth, 75% up. So I'll be curious to see how this compares with, our own sample of client stores. New York, London, LA, top-selling cities worldwide on Black Friday, top-selling country, US, UK, Canada. I don't think there's any surprise there.
I mean, those are the places that have Black Friday.
Yeah, that's where Black Friday lives. But again, just points to the in-store sales have just shifted online. Mobile sales, 67% compared to 33% of sales made on desktop. So it's 2 out of 3 are on mobile. All right, pretty good. Hope you got those dynamic checkout buttons set up.
I think that's interesting in that when we know, I mean, it just goes back to, this is like the main congenital problem we have an issue with, is that we know that 85% of the traffic is on mobile.
Yes.
So 85% of the traffic is on mobile, but it's only 67% of the sales.
Yeah, and so last year it was higher. It was 69%.
Yeah, so it's just like that continuing issue of the conversion rate on mobile is just congenitally lower than it is on desktop. And
People
we still haven't
no one wants to type in a credit card.
figured out how to fix it. Like we do so much to try and fix it, and we can never get it to parity.
I think we just need a long form letter when you land on the site that's like, look, we know shopping on mobile sucks. We promise it's better now. It's 2021, and just give it a shot. Please just try dynamic checkout buttons.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about it.
I mean, Apple Pay makes it so easy.
Well, and I think the other, I mean, I really would, if I get really nuts and if I had nothing to do, what I would do is, one of the issues, we searched this out, there was an old podcast episode where we talked about it, I know it was this year, was that so much of people use Instagram and Facebook on their phones.
Yeah.
That's top of funnel traffic.
Yep.
They're on their phone on Instagram and Facebook. They hit the website. They're at the top of the funnel. They're least likely to buy. That then hurts the mobile conversion rate because all your top of funnel traffic is happening on mobile. And then the traffic that is happening in later iterations of their visits is probably more likely to happen on desktop. So what I would like to see is desktop conversion rate subtracting out Facebook and Instagram, and then mobile conversion rate subtracting out Facebook and Instagram, and then compare them to see what the true difference is.
You could do this in Google Analytics. It would be a big pain.
I know, but I would like
someone else needs to put this together.
But no,
for us.
I mean, I would go in the Shopify Analytics and I'd copy it into spreadsheets and figure it out because I want to know what the actual difference is because you're comparing two different universes.
So you're trying to figure out conversion rate by traffic source.
Well, I just want to remove out the two main traffic sources that are killing the conversion rate. I mean, it's Facebook on phone is a huge percentage of overall traffic, and no one buys off of that.
And it's
directly.
lowest converting.
That's the lowest converting.
Okay.
So,
and part of it's like you're in not only are you on mobile, you're in the Facebook browser on mobile.
Yeah.
Which just is not going to be as clean an experience.
So it's like it's worse on mobile, the conversion rate, but it's also not a one-to-one comparison because the universe of the traffic is very much different.
Oh, well, now we have to dive into this next.
All right, I know I derailed us by talking about problems.
A good idea.
I know.
All right, so top product categories: apparel and accessories, health and beauty, home and garden. That's the same that we saw in 2020 or the start of the pandemic when we were shocked when certain brands and categories were doing really well. That's unchanged. But I think apparel and accessories or fashion and accessories has always been a top category on Shopify. So I don't know that one's necessarily 2020. Average cart, $90, an increase of 11%. Okay, people are spending more online. They're buying more stuff more often online. 14% cross-border, so you got people buying from Canada. And they also offset carbon emissions, which I appreciate, because I'm big on sustainability. All right, after that exciting read-through of a press release. Wow.
See, you're getting on my side now.
Well, how else am I supposed to present facts and figures for Black Friday?
Listen, it's not my job to solve the problem. It's just to sit in the balcony like Statler and Waldorf and tell you how you're bad.
All right, do your impression. That's excellent. Now I need that as a sound drop. Let's load up your client data.
So Kurt messaged me 10, he just ran off the top of his head, 10 of our favorite children that are our clients, and I pulled the year-over-year November data for what they did. But one of our big boys, did a huge product launch last November, and their November 2020 was down 50% from last year because they didn't do a huge product launch this year. So it's not really a good comparison. So I pulled them out.
So this is 9 stores you have in here?
There's 9 stores. It's November 2019 to November 2020. That's good for 2 reasons. One, because obviously Thanksgiving and Black Friday are on different days every year. 2, we hammer to everyone. You want to be priming everyone and having sales all throughout November. 3, last year's Cyber Monday was December 1st. And this year's Cyber Monday, we don't have data for because it's literally happening as we speak. So just doing November to November makes it a little bit more equal.
Okay.
In that you don't have, they're both missing the Cyber Monday.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense. And we can, go through an exciting resuscitation of Cyber Monday facts in 2 weeks. Or we could just be like, people sold stuff.
It was good.
They bought some stuff. It was good.
I'll never get over Cyber Monday. It's the fakest thing in the world.
Tell me, please riff on this.
No, it's just, I think Cyber Monday, it exists because they were like, okay, so people don't have computers at their houses. They only have them at work. And they screw around at work by shopping. So Black Friday, obviously they're going to the physical stores. Then they spend all weekend at home, not on their computer because no one has a computer at home. Then when they go back to work on Monday, they do more shopping because they finally have a computer again. Cyber Monday.
That was the theory.
That's the theory.
Well,
which is clearly obvious, which was insane then and has only become more insane.
Especially now when it's like work from home. But I think it's more about people procrastinating and screwing around at work. Shopping online is just an easy thing to do instead of working.
No, that's true. I mean, we see it all the time. I mean, sales drop amongst all of our stores on the weekends because people have lives. But
but when they're supposed to be working.
Yeah, but when they're supposed to be working, they're killing time.
Okay.
But the thought process was also they don't have computers at home.
Those rascals. So what do you see? We've got our 9 stores here.
We got our 9 stores. Overall, we're up 51%, which I believe was almost right on the money, according to one of those numbers.
One of them said up 55.
Yeah, so we're almost like right on the line.
Yeah, all right, so Adobe Analytics on Black Friday said up 22%.
Oh, so we did better.
It was retail...
Sales was down 50% in store.
I'm sorry, visits to stores. So literally foot traffic.
Yeah, so they were up 22%. Our clients were up 50% because we're that good.
Yeah.
Traffic was up 24%. The conversion rate was up 22%.
Wild.
I'm saying that was because of us, the conversion rate.
Yeah, I'll take credit for it.
Because
100%.
They spent all year with us increasing their conversion rates. And so now they're reaping the benefits.
I see.
That's all that works.
I'll take that plug. So what was give me some of our averages here.
It's literally what I just said.
Oh, you did run through all the medians. Any outliers?
Well, I mean, I can't say the name.
You give it a category.
All right. There's someone in the beauty category.
There you go.
Was up 764% in revenue from 37,000 to 327,000.
That dog
in the
will
month
hunt.
of November.
Wow.
I feel like that's because they weren't they weren't as much of a going concern last year. Am I wrong?
I think in this case, this brand experienced explosive growth throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
And so we do have that outlier.
They also increased their traffic by 900% year over year. So
a store in here with a very high average order value that went up 155%.
Yeah, that's
and we had redone their theme.
Yeah, we redid that. They have a new theme.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny to see that. So our data is questionable. But
it's good. I think it's good in that. All right, so one store is just been revving up. The other one got a new theme and saw 150% increase in sales, whereas the
now,
average.
If your theme's already good, same effect will not apply.
You're not. Their old theme was horrendous, but if you go from horrendous to great.
Yeah, sometimes that could work out pretty well.
Go up 150%.
Assuming everything else is good, and that was the bottleneck.
Yeah,
and it was. But even the really, the biggest brand last year managed almost a 70% increase this year. I think what's interesting to me is seeing that everybody's traffic, 6 out of 9 stores had their traffic go up, and two were
flat,
2 were unchanged, 1 was lower. But of the store, looking at these stores on the revenue increase, I would say 8 out of 9 had significantly better revenue.
Oh yeah.
So that's exciting to see that on less traffic overall, a significant increase in performance. I wonder what's going on there.
It's just the story of 2020.
Just more people shopping online.
Oh yeah, I mean we've been seeing it all year, I think.
Let's just start dialing for dollars, see what we get. Just gonna call merchants till someone answers.
All right, how about we just do the nugs?
You guys want to be on a podcast? Hey,
your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Andy Bedell, it's Kurt Elster. I'm doing the worst thing a millennial could do to another millennial. I'm leaving you voicemail, and it is solely because we're recording a podcast at the moment, and I need some content. So,
you're too late.
Call me back in the next 5 minutes. All right, we did Andy. Should we try another one, or should we just
give up?
Just give up on. Yeah. All right.
I don't think this is thrilling people.
No. All right. Let's do.
Anyway, all our clients were up 50%. That's more than average, meaning that was entirely due to us. So if you hire us, you will outperform the average Shopify store.
Andy.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. We are recording a podcast. You're actually being recorded at the moment.
We have to say that because it's a 2-party consent state in Illinois.
Yeah.
I'm in California.
Oh, sweet. Never mind. I'm not recording this. No, we are.
Yeah, no. I'm sure. I think California is even worse, probably, actually.
Safe guess. So, do you have any interest in giving us your expectations and opinions around Black Friday?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I could just talk about what, we were, for Keysmart, we had a good Black Friday. We were actually, I know Shopify was up like 80%. We were actually, I think we were down a little bit over last year. Our emails ran really well. Our ads did not run as well. And we did just launch it. It's kind of complicated. We just launched a brand new product at Keysmart Max, and that is starting to do really well. It's starting to do well for ads. But a lot of our other products did not do as well for ads, which is, I'm not super surprised. To be 100% honest, we've always scaled out after Black Friday because we usually see everybody's doing all these huge deals, and so we find that those deals work well for our email list. But to advertise them out, that sometimes you're just giving away 2 months to start, and then everybody's looking for a huge deal. We found that we could just cut the deals, and that we generally do better after Black Friday, and that we kind of scale up our ad spend after Black Friday. But with the one exception, with the one caveat being that this year is a weird year because they're talking about Shipageddon and how you can't ship as long. So we usually kind of cut it right at the edge where our biggest days are like in December, but then we're like, it's kind of, it's like at some point you have to kind of cut it off because
so you use that shipping urgency.
Shipping. Well, we don't, it's not as much as that we do as so in the past, here's what we found is that our ads work well. And then we scale them up kind of like on a, like 10 to 20% twice a day or so. As they're running well, so we'll jump. As we see the ROAS go up, like so. When I ran ads just this last weekend, the ROAS was like honestly like a 2.5 or so on retargeting, which isn't very good.
Yeah, and retargeting that's a little rough.
Yeah, and prospecting, we did really well on emails, but the prospecting, our retargeting wasn't all that good. Our prospecting was running not very well either. But it's not. We found that happened before, and then have after Black Friday for whatever reason, like after Cyber Monday, have our ROAS start to pick up. And then we jam up the spend, and then like I've gotten it to the point where then we've gotten into like $35,000 a day, and then just increasing that 10 to 20% twice a day. And so if you're increasing if you're increasing twice or 20% twice a day, you're gonna double your spend in like 2 days, or like 2.5 days. So we found that we've been able to scale up that way after Black Friday on the prospecting side, and that has worked really well for us. But actual Black Friday and Cyber Monday have never been all that good for us for actual prospecting, but it is a great way for emails, for email blasting our customers. And we did see that the email blast worked really well.
Yeah, you guys were down year over year because I looked into it. Last year, you guys launched the Keysmart Pro with Tile earlier in November, which I would probably argue is your flagship product. So,
well, we actually just launched new colors of the Keysmart Pro with Tile at that time because we did launch the Keysmart Pro with Tile. Remember, we did the Keysmart Pro with Tile with that pre-launch we did with you guys 3 years ago. Right? Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that was like 3 years ago. But we launched new colors. And to tell you the truth, we had some really good Alyssa on my team had written some really good ads at that time. And those were ads which is really scaling. But as we all know, you run into ad fatigue at some point, and those ads just didn't, kind of scaled out, and now they're not working very well.
Oh no!
Still, yeah, it was sort of a relaunch.
Yeah. So that happens. We're used to knowing that ads will scale, especially if you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because when they work, you spend a lot of money on them, and then eventually they stop working. So we're not really worried about that. We know that I haven't been seeing good prospecting numbers for the last few weeks, so I wasn't really expecting too much. But now we're seeing our new Keysmart Max get I think I got like a 5 ROAS yesterday. So we're jacking up the spend on that. That's our new flagship. It's got at Keysmart we have all these products coming out, but at the same time, like I personally would love to be more on the Apple strategy. Not saying that we're not doing a good job with the new products, but I'd love to be able to like where we had a new model come out every year, because just having a new model, that's our kind of tried and true. And then it's like if we had a new model coming out every year or every year and a half or something like that with a new tile chip, like expanded capabilities, then we see the model upgrades are by far the biggest sellers. So if we did that and then we layered in other products and stuff like that, but I'm kind of rambling. But so the Keysmart Max is going to be good. But so buy Keysmart Max is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'll link to the Keysmart website in the show notes, and it is beautiful, and I always love your photography. That's all one guy, right?
Keith is one guy.
I follow him on Instagram. He's really good.
Yeah, Keith is cool. Keith is now becoming more and more of a manager too, because he's got Michelle that works with him, and then we hired 3 new videographers. We have Josh, Desire, and Brian. And then we just hired a writer. So we're building out our video team and our video capabilities. So more and more, but most of the stuff you see is the stuff you see on the website is probably Keith, and then we're doing more and more ads with the new guys.
So let me phrase it this way: if you had to do anything differently in November, if you could go back and do it over, would you have done anything differently?
Not really. No, I mean, I think the biggest, to be 100% honest, what I would have done differently would be get the Keysmart Max in earlier, but we kind of dropped the ball on the dates. We had so many products this year that kind of blew up.
You have so many cool products right now. It's wild.
Yeah, you did so well the rest of the year that you exhausted your ad. You emptied your clip before Black Friday hit.
That's a good problem to have.
I think the biggest thing that we did was just that we had so many new products this year that is from a production standpoint, we just dropped the ball on making sure the Keysmart Max was coming in, and it should have been here in September. If it was here in September, I would have had a lot more time to work on the actual Keysmart Max launch, and we'd be in a better spot for Black Friday, because the Keysmart Max would be, because you generally don't want to launch sometimes I've seen some people launch limited editions. I saw you said the Hoonigan bat.
Oh yeah, Hoonigan did a limited edition baseball bat.
Yeah, but you generally don't want to launch a flagship product when so many PlayStation stuff they're launching early November, right? They're not launching in the thick of Black Friday,
right?
So you know what I mean. So because we also just didn't know when they're in stock right now and they're shipping, but we also at one point weren't sure that they would actually come in the right time, because you never know. You don't want to so. We didn't want to we would generally have done a month-long pre-sale, but we thought it would have been just a lot to tell our customers that we're going to have a pre-sale and right before Christmas. And then what if it doesn't come in and, for whatever reason, or it doesn't pass might not pass the certification at some point, or get stuck in customs or whatever. And then you're stuck, and then you have to basically, apologize to everybody. So
even Keysmart occasionally gets caught up by manufacturers' delays. This just happens to everybody.
We get caught up all the time. So it's we are very, very, very. It's the thing. We have delays all the time. So that happens. I mean, I used to kind of get upset about it because I'm the marketing guy. I'd why isn't it? Why you guys said it was supposed to be here on this time? But as you grow up and as I've grown up and learned a little bit more, you realize that this is outside of your control. There's just so many things that are going on that even the biggest, even the biggest companies miss deadlines. So
that's a good way to look at it. You're wise for letting that one go. So do you have any advice for people in December? Because what I was hearing was, hey, even if if Black Friday didn't go as well as you think, the game is not over.
Yeah, I'd say quick advice would be make sure you know your shipping deadlines, obviously, and keep track of those. But check out if you're I saw other people on Twitter were talking about how their Christmas ads didn't work very well. you don't need to have Christmas ads. Just go back to the ads that work the best during the year. Find your best performing ads, run those, run them at a couple $100 or whatever you feel comfortable with. But if you're seeing good return on ad spend, then don't be afraid to increase those spends, because right now is I'm pretty sure the actual biggest day, like eBay had it's like Green Tuesday or something like that. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like the eBay has some day in like November and December that they say that's actually their biggest day. It's not Cyber Monday. And so there's other days of the year that actually continue. Yeah, that could be. But the thing is, most companies do see continued growth. But the one thing to be careful about is your shipping deadline, because shipping is supposed to be more delayed this year. So be careful about that. But don't worry about if you didn't have a good Black Friday, because that's the day that's like everybody wants a deal, and the CPC, or like the cost per clicks, go way up, or like the CPMs that you're paying go way up. So it's kind of like a double whammy of you're paying more to acquire customers and you're discounting. So you might have had big revenue days, but you didn't have a good profit day. So I'd rather get people to buy at better, less discount, and then do less on Black Friday, but do more later and have a more like healthy and profitable Black Friday or holiday season as a whole.
Andy, that is excellent advice and perspective, and I'm going to let you go there because you're not going to do better than that. Just go out on the high note.
All right, sounds good. I'm George Costanza. I'm out.
See ya. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
See, now my Festivus joke works because he said he made a George Costanza reference.
You're right.
Oh, I was texting him. I'm like, okay, you got to make a reference.
You like, save me.
Just make this work. Just make this stupid joke work.
You look like an idiot.
Oh, Paul made me look stupid.
All right. I think that's enough. We got enough.
You idiot.
We got enough. You're going to buy Teardown right now, and we're going to try to install it on that computer because I'm an evangelist for this game.
All right, we'll go play your game. Let's call it quits there. As usual, I would love for you to join our Facebook group. Search Unofficial Shopify Podcast Insiders on Facebook, and you could post your questions there. Oftentimes, that content ends up making its way into the show. So, thank you for listening. As always, I appreciate it. Good luck.
Bye-bye.